Hello, this is Frances McBride recording on the 25th of the 11th, 2000. Thank you.
About 6 months ago, they were writing a book about Master, but there was over there was he Rogers or he was from Carrick. But that is about the time that the government here was erecting limestones kilns for crushing limestone into a pulver.
Right.
Huh?
Right. Is that what that was?
But I want to tell you, the boys down in Anahaya,
Yeah.
they tried might and means to get the mill erected at Anahaya,
Right.
where the limestone was.
Yeah.
And they even had the Minister for Agriculture, James Dillon, to back them up. But the mill was erected on the settlers' land in Marylebone.
Yeah.
The reason why it's a pity that they weren't able to get it erected in Anahaya would have given a lot of employment. The quality of the stone in Anahaya was too hard.
Right.
And it explains all there.
Right.
In that there, you can put all that in your book. And
Oh, that's lovely. I want to look at this.
that's
Oh,
a photograph that was taken at a Kelly in Blaney on an Easter commemoration Kelly.
wow.
Did you know Maggie Martin in Donaghmoyne?
Yes.
Well, there's a brother of Maggie's there. That there. She used to come a girl up to Wards from Belfast. You didn't know her?
That's Fiddler Wards.
No.
No.
No, there's the Barrel Ward.
Right.
You didn't know her?
No.
I would choose that. The fiddler is there. But you know the fiddler there?
Is the fiddler there?
See the
That
bow
him?
there?
That's it. That's it. Is that him? He looks like the...
Huh?
Is that first one him?
That's... I'm sitting beside him. We're playing with the band.
Oh, yes, it is. You play the fiddle as well?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I
I
play
didn't
the
know
fiddle and I play the button accordion. And there's a fiddle I got. You never saw one like it.
No.
It amplifies itself.
So,
Wow.
No matter how you touch that, you'll find it coming out there.
my goodness.
Katie in Mullahinchin one night, and we had a band from Armagh, a Katie band, McCutcher,
Yes.
Katie band, that
I've heard of
a great band.
Yes.
And they had one of them fiddles there in the band.
Yes.
That's the first place. And I saw it in an independent where a band master over in the West played a couple of tunes on his most strange instrument. There was one of them. They're a French violin. They're a straw violins, they call them.
And where was that taken, that photograph?
Huh?
Where was that photograph taken? This one?
Huh?
Where was the
Blaney.
photograph taken? In Blaney?
In Blaney.
In the Hope Castle, was it?
No, it's in the market house.
On the market house?
It's a nice place.
Beautiful place, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That's the back of the courthouse now, the Blaney Market House.
There's
Out
I know 19 out of them.
of them.
is there. There was two boys from Enniskeane joined us in the band that night. There was 5 of us playing in it.
There's instruments here too.
And there he was from Australia.
Who's that?
Mahon. He'd be a cousin in McMahon that blew up the
The
Yamana.
tacky.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know the ones.
Aye.
Tommy. Wee Tommy.
He's there. And there's another brother of his somewhere in there too. You didn't know John Duffy at Donaghmoyne?
I did, yes.
Huh?
I did.
And there he's there. He's beside Jack Lennon of Enniskeane. Can you see him there?
We can, yeah, never mind.
Yes, I can.
Huh?
I can see him now, yes.
Who else was playing the fiddle with you, Johnny?
Fiddler Ward
Fiddler Ward, yeah.
and Pete Conlon of the Conlon's band.
Yes.
He joined us, and only McHugh, he had some sort of a different instrument. He's there too. They came. We had a bus. We had a bus load down to the Cady, and they came with us and joined us in the band. We played at Cady's in Carrican and Cavan, and we played a woman in Loud with that won the Loud Championship.
Right.
We played it there. And,
It must have been great fun.
huh?
It must have been great social life.
It was. We played in Australia Hall for a couple of years and opened up.
Right.
It was a wonder. There'd be about 500 or 600 people there every evening. I wanted them to put a skylight, 2 skylights on the roof of it, because it was more than, so many people there was summer's evening. And we did it in Mullahinchera for a term, and we played in Cullaville Hall too for jazz music.
Yeah.
And there's the whole go a while, and then all the dances stopped altogether.
Yeah. Yeah.
The last place there was great noise was over at King's School.
Right.
There was a terrible lot there.
And how would you travel to them, Johnny? Was it on a bicycle or what?
No. We had a car,
Right.
and we cycled up to, in the latter end of the seasons, we cycled up to Mullahinchera. It's up the road there about a mile or 2 miles. But that was great gas,
I'd say so.
Aye.
I'd say so.
I mean, between music and football, have you a good football picture
None.
of the Donaghmoyne team?
None.
Oh,
No,
yes.
really.
And your daddy on it.
Actually, Patsy gave me one. I have a copy. Did I give you?
That's up and there.
Yeah.
Take that one down there and you see it.
Yeah, I have this one.
You should have one of them. And
Is that the one with the cross?
Huh?
Some of them, we got one, a photograph of the Donaghmoyne team, and they had a stripe down here. Right. And we were trying to figure out what did the stripe mean. It was a stripe across the jersey.
Yeah.
I must take it over to you. White stripe.
However, when you just to make a decoration of the.
No. Do you know them all, Johnny?
I do.
I'll just take a look.
I've been playing with them for 10 or 12 years.
Sure you do.
Picture your daddy there.
Yes,
Oh,
that's him here there.
Dad's there.
And that fella there, just give us a quick rundown of them.
That's Peggy Martin.
Yes. And that's Joe McCourt. Is it?
Joe McCourt is the next one.
Yeah.
That's Peggy McCain.
This one here.
And Como Court, and Tommy McMahon, me there, and that's Johnny McGinn, and that's Only Verne. Only was a great fullback, and that's McGowan.
Yes.
You heard about McGowan?
Yes, we did indeed.
McGowan got his name being like a bankman that was in Carrick. He was McGowan from Roscommon, and he was in, his face was identical. There was another man up here on the Ashford Road. He was part of McGowan too. And that's Bill Mooney there, and there's James the Canadian, and that's Hughie Martin.
Yes.
Tom Carrer. That was the goalkeeper there, James Hamill. That's Eddie Martin. He was from Broomfield. That's Pat Martin. And that's his Eamon Mooney. And that's Francis Stas. He's a cigarette in his mouth.
Yes.
But you should have a photograph of it.
I have a small photograph.
Yeah, I must take them open right on the back.
Yeah.
True they are.
There was a photograph appeared in the Democrat of me on a tractor at Terrace over there. I don't mind put the frame on it. Take it down. And inquiring, there was an inquiring for, you just leave it there. There was an inquiring photographer at the Ashford that day, and he wanted to see a horse being shorted.
Yeah.
Well, I told him that it was too late in the day to have a horse shot. I said there used to be two men in that forge, but there's only one in it now, and I said, any horse been shot? So he says, is that your tractor that's there? I said, yes. Well, he says, will you sit on it? I'll take a photograph of it. He says, it'll be the change of events. The tractor going away instead of the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it appeared twice in the Democrat. So Patchy got that, snap it out with the man. He lives beside the Democrat house.
Yeah.
So, talking about the historic scenes of Donaghmoyne, two castles in Donaghmoyne.
Right.
You had Manning Castle and you had a castle at Gubbock. That's northern Carrick territory.
Right. What was it? Gubbock.
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 It'd be probably Irish.
Right. Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
Yes, so I've heard that now.
Because Canon Hackett, is right. Canon, what do you call him? Here in mine,
McCreevy.
McCreevy. I asked him where did the remains of the castle at Gubbock go? He knew about it, and he said it must have sunk into the ground.
Right.
Whereabouts was it between Carrick though, and whereabouts was it really? Roughly.
Well, it was nearly on Councillor's farm.
In Annie's.
Callan, isn't it?
Oh,
Jean.
Jean Callan.
It was on the border of Carrick Cross. Carrick had a football field in Gubbock
Right.
until they got one in.
Right.
The time that Manon was in Donaghmoyne, Manon was the god, he was the pagan god of the sea,
Yeah,
Manon.
yeah.
And then Patrick came to Donaghmoyne, and he erected probably a wooden church there where the Protestant church was. It was a Catholic church at one time.
Yeah.
Well, we have a headstone in that church. But it seems that the Protestants took it over, and they didn't object to anyone being Catholic being buried in it.
No.
But St. Patrick, he did the same as he did above Tara. He went to visit the R3, and he went up to visit Manon when he came to Donaghmoyne. And Manon was an Egyptian. He turned himself into a fish
Right.
and went into the lake. And St. Patrick got the word that he wasn't at home. So the third time we went up, the same thing happened. Patrick was supposed to say wherever he was, he'd remain there till the end of time. So he's probably up there yet in the lake.
Yeah. A lot of people have old stories about Manon, you
Yeah.
know, and different things happening there.
Yeah. Well, the Donaghmoyne parish at that time went up as far as Mucker. You know that?
No.
It went up as far as Mucker, and it included Mullahinchina and Blackstaff and Kilmurray.
That's right, that's real.
When the transfer came back to Inniskeen, that was the cause of the spleen with Donaghmoyne and Inniskeen. And
When was that, though? Roughly what time?
that would be the time that Manon was in Donaghmoyne.
Right.
Any time that Inniskeen beat Donaghmoyne on the football field to celebrate their victory with style. I remember being at a game in Martin's Meadow. It was about maybe 10 or 12 years before I started to take football. But they beat Donaghmoyne in a ski, and they came down on a lorry, and when the game was over, they went down to the Blaney Road and into Carrick to celebrate their victory. Joe Cooney down here, he was the goalkeeper with the Donaghmoyne team at that time. And Joe and I, we took the ball out and we were kicking it over in the field there along the road. And we heard the lorry coming over from Capron. And when we came near, we came over and we hid ourselves at the hedge where they wouldn't see us because they drove their guts out. So the pass through Cochrane's Middle, it was a dead village. Didn't get cheered at all. But it always, even the women, if they were playing camogie, would celebrate their victory just the same. From the beat, Donaghmoyne.
Yeah.
There was a holy well there down in the valley from Bolton's place, Tubberlaska.
Yeah, Tubberlaska. It's still People still go over to it.
People go to it. They used to go to it the first Sunday in May,
Right.
and the first Sunday in August.
That's right. Yeah.
In the old days, there was no open way of going through the wild except crossing some fences. They probably broke down some fences, and there was trespass of cattle, and the owner didn't like it. So he closed the well,
Yeah.
built it up with stones and everything.
Really? Oh, I didn't hear about
And
that.
the water burst up in his kitchen.
Really?
Yes. And there was no means of it getting it stopped. And someone told him if he wanted to have it stopped, he should go down and empty the well and leave it the way it was.
Yeah.
So when he had it emptied, the water came back again.
That's
And,
amazing.
it's,
You don't know who that was?
Huh?
You don't know who the neighbour was or who the fellow was?
Who blocked off the well?
he blocked the well.
Who blocked the well, Johnny?
The man that land was on,
It would have been on. It was on Hills's now,
Well,
but before that.
there was a man that owned it. He was a cousin of Sam Smith's down here. You didn't
Right.
know Sam Smith?
No.
No, he lived down here in Donaghmoyne. Peter Kelly is in his place now. Well, he was Ned. He was a cousin of Sam Smith. He was Hill too. And he wasn't married, and when the place was sold, Ned Hill bought it.
Yes.
And Ned was married to one of the girls from Mr. Miles.
Henry's. Yeah,
They were a different religion.
Yeah.
What is their religion?
Church of England. Church of
No.
Ireland.
No. Church of Ireland and
Presbyterian.
Presbyterian.
Presbyterian, right.
Presbyterian's not as bad. Not
As
as
the church,
better.
no.
I was spraying some potatoes on the country that time, and I sprayed for Ned Hill, and he was down in the meadows. I had to wait till he come up, and Mrs. Ned's wife, her sister was very bad at the time, very bad. She had some brain damage. So I said that she made a wonderful recovery, but she said it was with prayers and masses. That's better the places of worship in Donaghmoyne. You have the Protestant, the Presbyterian, and I'm slow about getting the total. What did I call it?
The Tobalaska.
Huh?
No, not Tobalaska.
No. The
Chapel.
Oh, the chapels.
the
Oh,
chapel.
yeah.
But there was the old Donaghmoyne Chapel with the Protestant chapel.
Yeah. You had three Catholic chapels, Donaghmoyne, Broomfield and the Stewart.
Yeah.
And I never was at Mass in the Stewart chapel. Never. I was in it one evening for doing a guard of honour for a footballer, and that's the only time ever I was in doing it. I had three Protestant ones. You had the church there at the Church of Ireland below at Broomfield, and you had another one, church further down. It was that other church. What was the name of the Mrs. Hill's church?
Presbyterian.
Presbyterian. That was 6
That's right.
places of worship.
That's right. Did you go to school in Donaghmoyne? Or did you go to
I was at school
Blackstaff?
in Dunluska,
Drumlusky, right.
up here,
Yeah.
and there was two teachers in it. There was a Mrs. Tierney, she was from Cork,
Right.
and Tierney, Master Tierney, he was from Limerick,
Right.
and they were, both of them were principal teachers. Tierney taught a while in Lisdooney, and he taught a while in Blackstaff or Magooney. And Mrs. Tierney taught in Dunluska.
Right.
And there was a Mrs. Welsh, she was from Catton, the other side of the road from Catton Chapel. And she lived down here. There was a house down here, only Kirk pulled it down.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Bottom of the lane.
There was a dispensary there at one time, too. Two with the two teachers above in the Rustic School. 47. But they had to get up a petition to, so a lot of people left the school that day. There was 13 or 14 families left the school and gone down to Donaghmoyne. I was in second group when I went down to Donaghmoyne. Master Morris was teaching, and Master Heaney, he was from Dundalk,
Right.
and Miss Kelly was teaching.
Right. What year would that have been, Johnny? Do you know?
That's one thing my memory is nearly finished. The year, it'd be 1917 or thereabouts.
Right.
One of mine at that time was a wonderful Hibernian parish.
Yeah.
They had the two halls in Donaghmoyne. You remember the hall in Donaghmoyne?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mickey Martin had a shop in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there was a stone wall hall built in Lisdooney.
Right.
I used to go down there to not dance in Lisdooney. Some of the boys round Donaghmoyne, they were wearing Hibernian badges at school,
Right.
the John Traynor. So I challenged with the Sinn Féiners at Donaghmoyne School to kick the Hibernians in the playground. It was a dangerous thing to do. Allowed to have a football match in the playground. If we were allowed to have a football match, there should be protection on the window.
Yeah.
I developed a kick of the ball. I give it the proper. It was a drop kick. That's what it was.
Yes.
And if it had to hit about an inch or so lower, it'd have come back. But I put it in through the window, the ball. I thought that Morris, he inflicted a punishment on me that I never forgot
What was it?
or never will. I got 4 slaps of a wooden cane and had to pay a shilling
for the window.
I thought it was a very little punishment for a young lad who was trying to develop his football talent.
I don't think Morris saw it that way.
And still, Morris, his people, they were all Sinn Féiners.
Yeah.
Tom Waterfield IV would be a grandfather of his, and he was a famous Sinn Féiner.
But Morris was very wicked, wasn't he?
I know. I often thought about it. And 30 years after, I was going to pay him back, and I decided not to. Because
What do you mean by pay back?
I was going to, we were, the Donaghmoyne team looked after themselves, the team, and they got tired of it. And they decided that they get the schoolmaster of Donaghmoyne and Brooklyn, or someone to do the needful. So we had a convention in the Donaghmoyne school. Morris was elected chairman, and I was going to say that I couldn't see me way in playing football under Master Morris, that he tried to put football out of my head. So I thought, oh, I decided not to. There was more trouble later. We were trying to get Wells's farm over here in Capra
Yeah.
divided
Right.
by the Land Commission. And we tried Jackson's farm over at
Longfield.
Longfield. He died.
Yeah.
He was in the British Army.
Mm.
And when he came home from the war, 3 rifles home, a revolver.
Mm.
In 1920, when the IRA had a general raid for arms, he didn't hand up either of the rifles to the IRA. But it was only when the operation and that his life was at an end that he gave the 3 rifles to Johnny Brady.
Right.
And Jimmy, like your daddy, were arrested during the Civil War. We give Jimmy Brady some money for the rifles.
Mm.
And he went up and they went into Jackson's house over in some place. We give them up to the IRA and we're looking for them. But during the trouble with getting them 2 farms divided, we envisaged to be the way that there be a football match at Longfield. We wanted to keep the aggression going.
Yeah.
For that, Mrs. Brady, she saved up a big dish of urine. Nelson was supposed to buy Longfield. See, Wells was fighting kids for himself at Longfield. Nelson, he lived the other side of Longfield. He was supposed to have bought Longfield. But there was about 600 acres in Jackson's. It was only a comic fact. But he was coming down the front avenue, and Mrs. Brady went out with the dish of urine and threw it on top of him.
Oh, that must
So she was arrested. And, that I wasn't a peace commissioner at that time, I wouldn't like to be sentenced Mrs. Brady. I was lucky that I wasn't
She was,
on that.
she was a feisty
But-
wee woman, was she?
Yeah?
Was she a feisty wee woman, Mrs. Brady?
Was she what?
A feisty, a tough little woman.
Tough.
Yeah.
She was coming a man during the black and tan time.
She was what?
She was coming a man.
Oh, was she?
She
Right.
was. Oh,
Right.
she'd handle a rifle as good as a
As
man.
big as a man. Yeah.
But the second night, she was tried in Carrick, and she got 2 weeks up in Mountjoy.
Right.
Yes. And the second night that she was in Mountjoy, Nelson, Jackson's yard, or in his own yard, he went into a house, he got a bale of hay out of it, and he left a yard lamp out on the street. And just as he was coming out, the yard lamp was blown to bits with 2 shots from a shotgun.
Right.
Yeah.
The other rifle was.
And it was after that, I think that she had a football match. There was 2 guards and a detective sent out to stay in Jackson's house to protect Nelson. We gathered to see this football match. It was only just a hobby match. But the guards and the detective was in the field. They hunted them out of the one field, and I got my dinner as early as I could, and they were coming up from there, and we went out across, out to kick ball in the field there beside one of the houses. Nelson was in the field where we were kicking the ball, and kicked the ball over to where Nelson was, and we'll make out that we're jumping up to catch the ball, and it's on the top of Nelson. We'd learned, and then we give him a kick in the stomach at the same time. But there was 8 of us summoned for whatever you like to call it. We're given trouble.
Yeah.
And I watched Martin the solicitor. Do you know Martin the solicitor in Carrick? Martin, Wells, and Kennedy. They were 3 solicitors. Well, Martin was a great Republican solicitor. So I watched them coming home from Carrick, and I told them about the trouble we had. And we were all served with summonses. So the case was tried, and when our case was called, the boys who went into Kennedy as well, the 7 of us, 8 of us. And I didn't tell them that I had another one to speak for me as well. But Kennedy put up whatever he was able to do, and sat down, and Martin then spoke up. I told Martin that I never knew Nelson, or Nelson never knew me. Is Mr. Wells, he says to Nelson, are you sure that John Traynor was in the field? John Traynor is a footballer. He plays with the Donaghmoyne GAA, and he plays with the county team, and he's known all over Ulster. And the children go to school knows him. Are you sure that he was in the field? You must know John Traynor. It is when you identify him in court. So I focused my eyes on him, because if I turned away, you might say, that's not his shame. He wasn't able to identify me. Says Mr. Nelson, he says, you're on your oath. Who told you that John Traynor was in the field? Says Mr. Wells, he said, he honoured his oath just the same. Hit his hammer on the desk, case dismissed. The whole thing fell through. Even the Kennedy's argument, the whole thing. So, Ward and Eamon Rice came over before that to see could they make some parley with Nelson. So Nelson wouldn't play ball with them at all. So they came and was standing there at Blockfield Cross. They came down and they said that you wouldn't recognise them. It is up to you men to subdue them. And all the fight went on then with Nelson. He had to sell his farm and go to England and always
there and then.
when he was better if he had never to have anything to do with it. Capra, the people in Capra, two ladies and a boy. There was a monastery in Capra at one time.
It was a hospital, wasn't it, or something? I heard.
No, it was a monastery.
It was a monastery, was it?
We were fishing over the lake, Father and I, and there was a caretaker in Wells's house. And he asked us, well, did you ever see we knew the caretaker, it was Tommy Beacon. He asked us, what did we ever in? We said we weren't. So he took us in, and there was as much underground as there is overground. And I saw a nice book. It wasn't a book, it was a book with some lovely drawings in it. And there was Mother Shipton's prophecy.
Mother Shipton's?
Yeah. Did you ever hear Mother Shipton's prophecy?
No.
It was there in a cave outside of London. And she prophesied in prose in 1800. Prophecy was carriages without horses shall go. Accidents will fill the world with woe. Around the world thought shall fly in the twinkling of an eye. And over hill man shall walk, over hill man shall ride, with neither horse or ox be at his side. Iron on the water shall float, as easy as a wooden boat. And under water men shall walk, shall read, shall write, shall talk. And in the air men shall be seen, in white and black and even green. Fire and water shall but wonders do. The world shall upside down shall be, and gold shall be found at the root of a tree. The world to an end shall come in 2651. It was hard hitting, wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
It's for 1800.
Yeah.
Huh?
It was heavy stuff.
And you think of it every day that there's an accident with cars
Oh, and there's no shortage of those.
over. And carriages of horses shall go,
Yeah.
and accidents will fill the world with gold. Now it's not. It's, but whilst he came to Carrick, and you tell man his ever was in it. I think he came from me. We found out that the Opera House was vacant, and then there was a tenant in it for keeping. So we probably got in touch. The two sisters, they were Kiernan, was their name. The brother died. Well, I believe the history of the Carrick Chapel said that Kiernan gave a good donation to the building of the chapel. All the stone that was at the building of Carrick Chapel and spire was all got in Donaghmoyne.
Right.
Yeah. There was about 25 stone cutters down in what was the name of the lake? You had
Nelson's Lane fell over on the Blaney Road. That
Nelson's, and what was the other man? Was he Rafferty? No, it wasn't Rafferty. It was in the other man's quarry that all the stone that was at the building of the chapel and spire came from his quarry. And there was about 12 stone cutters there, and there was about 12 stone cutters in the Carrick Chapel, in the yard. And they were all busy. One that he was from Brother, he was a stone cutter, he remained in Carrick. He was a poverty. He was one of the men that was at the stone cutting. The stones taken from that quarry of Nelson, what do you call the place? Nelson's and the other man. What was the other stone?
It wasn't McAnally's, no.
We had the name of it there a minute ago. It wasn't Rafferty, no.
You said Rafferty.
Huh?
It could have been Rafferty's.
But the Dean in Carrick, Dean Keown, he sent bloody loads of stones from Rafferty's quarry down to Lodaird.
Yes.
That paper there, it shows for in Donaghmoyne.
That's right. I knew there was a connection between the Lodaird and Carrickmore.
Well, the place down in Tullavara, Only Barton told me, Only was the steward in that farm now. What do you call him this there in Tullavara?
Terry Violence.
Yeah.
Is it Terry Violence?
Aye.
Yeah.
There were Protestants in the name of Aikens was in at that time. And only Vernon, that's the man that's in the photo there. He was the steward there. It's up for sale, and Matt Conley, an auctioneer from Maine, he bought that farm,
Yes, that's right.
and he gave it then to
Terry.
Violet. That's the Violet go.
Yeah, that's right.
But only Vernon was telling me that he was ploughing a field there not far from the dry bridge, and he was just across this part of the field when it caved in. And with all the ropes, the Tullavara wouldn't get the bottom of it. A small river, it was coming to the bridge, and it went down in the ground a couple of yards before it didn't go under the bridge. That's how it got the name of the dry bridge.
Oh, I wondered about the dry bridge.
Yeah.
It's famous everywhere
Yeah.
you go around the dry. You know about the dry bridge.
And that's how it got its name. And there was a lake here at Donaghmoyne the corner.
Yes.
During wet weather, or wet season, that lake, it swells out for nearly 100 acres of water.
Yes.
And it flows there about a year or two ago, before going down to Lady Patsy and I, and the water was coming along the road. There's a rocking road away out from the lake, and it was coming out on that road. It must be about 400 feet deep of water in the lake at that time. We had 2 acres of honeycomb beside the lake, away up so far over it. Well, up from that lake in the summertime, it goes away down to a little farm. Travels under the road till it comes out at Callagher.
As we call it, the old bridge.
Yeah.
It used to come out under. There was an old bridge there between us and the ministers,
It
and down the road.
it rises there at the back in the It's supposed to be a factory or something at one time there, because there was a big chimney, and it'd be about 4 foot square each side, 50 feet high. Knocked down, I don't know why it was knocked down. It was a pity, because it had been a nice ornament there for the golf, if it had been there. There was a very big loft in front of it. The loft is there yet. And there was a beam under the loft, and it must be over 100 feet long. I was often wondering how that beam was got to the length of it, how he was able to get it over that far. After the 1918 war, stuff was scarce. After 4 years of war, it ended in 1918, and there was compulsory tillage here, who were under British rule at that time. Fulton, he gave up a field known as the Livechill Field, 45 acres in the Livechill Field, in the hands of an auctioneer. He advertised it, and the auction took place, and the 45 acres was all bought. Had a crop of oats in it, and the next year there was a crop of potatoes, the next year there was a crop of oats, and there was grass seed put in then, along with oats, and there was a crop of hay in it the fourth year, and there was second cotton of hay, which the tied in Monaghan for the seed. Wonderful crop was hay seed. So the people allowed said it was the mainest way of making money was to tie hay and thrash it. It spoiled it. Unless you got good dry weather, you might have a fair, it wouldn't be too bad. But in a wet season, you were in for trouble. The people that bought it the first year all bought it for the 5 years.
And many people were that.
When we had 2 acres in it. Some people had an acre, and there'd be nearly 40 people. They housed the horses at dinner time on that big loft, under the loft. Bolton used to, he had a field of hay here where Pat Malone had a house.
Yes.
He had, that field was 18 acres in it. That's where Bolton made his hay. Well, you didn't want to, people, it was all horses that time. You didn't want to take hay with you if you get as much hay as you wanted from Bolton off the loft.
Right.
So there was a big bale, as I was telling you. Father, he got a can of tar. He had a wonderful flourished hand as a writer. Put it on the vein, smoking strictly prohibited. So Bolton asked somebody who did that printing. A very flourished hand, he says. Be careful, man, he says. So he wears it.
Yeah.
There was hay over the loft, and it could be dangerous.
Especially smoking, yes.
So Bolton, he wasn't a very talkative type of man.
No, we heard he was very sourish, but quiet, but he wouldn't say nothing.
There was had a man with him. We had 2 acres in the centre of the field, and there was a gate at where we had the land. And he had a man with him this day, and he had a ferret. You know what a ferret
Yes,
is?
I do.
He had him, Bolton stood out about 10 or 15 yards. Whether he wanted to test the ferret or not, I don't know. But we had a man was from Cross Midland in the British Army. I left it out of the British Army. Very hot, you had to leave Cross Midland. But to my grandmother, they had a shop over in Donaghmoyne GAA. And she was from the outside of the parish, on the outskirts of it, Ball and Loud. She was over to them when things got hot. He came over in a helicopter one day to see me. He was there and he came over to us. He was a small lad of having to do some work.
Yeah.
But he was plowing horses, and Bolton asked him, "Will your horses stand gunfire?" He made a very bad answer to Bolton. "Yes," he says, "they'll stand shell fire." I didn't know that he had some military experience, or he wouldn't answer like that. One night, have a drink or two. He was away about 10 o'clock. There came two policemen who were under British rule on him. They sent two policemen out to search our house. I don't know what he was doing that day. He lived a couple of yards up the road there. He ran and he strung enough at him and have shot that man for giving information. I came back, so we were this for some time.
And were they looking for him because he was a deserter?
Yeah?
Was it because he was a deserter?
That's why they probably put him to prison. So there's some of the history of Donaghmoyne.
What time is it, Mickey?
4, 5, 10 to 4.
10 to 4. Can we just do another little bit, Johnny, and then come back some other day and get some more from you? But I was just wondering, did you play? Do you ever play football events against Patrick Kavanagh that in this game?
Yes.
Did you guys?
Yeah.
Any of those stories?
No, I didn't know much about Kavanagh. He
Wasn't much of a footballer, was he?
no, well, he was a goalkeeper.
Right.
And he was kind of a character. Well, we were fighting an objection with Killarney. Killarney was playing in the Skeen, and there was a referee from Dundalk. He was a wonderful, great referee. Travelled. Really is all the time. And in the Skeen was celebrating that night about their party for the season. They had a quarter bottle of Guinness there, and Kavanagh was there that night. So I can't believe it. Kavanagh drunk. Called a meeting of the county board either way. And was breaching the rules. He attended a soccer match in Dundalk. So it was strange thing to be character, Kavanagh.
Dad used to tell the story of when Daddy used to tell the story of.
I might have played 7 or 8 years. So he was a great centre forward on the team, ends of the team, at the forward. And a lot of his football when he was up at the corner remember before the Carrers came to Donaghmoyne,
Yes.
there was a Protestant house there too. And that place, that old man Carrer and the wife used to take very against one another,
Yeah.
making out.
Yeah.
And a lot of people says, give it to the woman, give it to the woman.
Yeah, that's right. They
No.
did.
Huh?
Yes. And my grandfather stopped bidding.
Aye.
And the
No.
auctioneer
But
asked.
he set up, he had plenty of money that time when they came from America. What's they done with them? They built a two-room house there beside the hut. You know where the hut is?
Yes.
And he set out a shop there. Had a weighbridge there too. Well, the weighbridge was about 10 years too soon. It had to be there in years more. It would have been a great place for weighing cattle or anything. So there were 3 doctors in the Carrer family. The last one was Frank. Frank was conscripted in America. I had a brother, he was called up too, and any back ailment, you were Packy was his name, he had a little ailment in his back. He was trying to do garrison at the port in New York, but he was saved from over to Europe.
Yes.
Because there was 50,000 Irishmen killed in that first World War. It was desperate. And he made a great bargain with any land down in Donaghmoyne. He came one night to the Baptist school up here. He said Donaghmoyne was a very rich ward. I'd like to put in a bit of a block in the scheme. I could give you something to knock them up a bit. I was going up to Dublin to buy 2 button accordions, one for myself and one for Tommy McMahon down at the student. I went up to the village, up to the train, and I was up middle of the early, and there was a man there waiting. He was there early too. But he told me that there was no town land in the scheme. Ennis is an island, and Queen is crying. And in the scheme meant the Crying Island. Marty, did you know
I
Michael?
know who you're talking about, yes.
He was a professor of Irish.
Yes.
He was on the curriculum secretary for a few years. And in the scheme used to be having objections. This man that I was talking to above at the station says to me, are you coming to the dock? Says, I'll be that far away, yeah. Says, I am going up as far as Dublin. Says, are you going to join the force? He says, no, says, I am not. Well, he says, I hope there's nothing wrong with you. He says, it's a terrible thing for the man to go to Dublin in them days. He got up to a horseman. But I got into a conversation with him, and he told me that there was an island down on the river. And there was a lot of rats on the island. Called it the island of crying rats. So,
Oh, Mary.
that's what the really word.
It was in the crying rats.
Crying.
When you said it was on the island, on the
Yeah.
lake, which lake do you mean? Where was the wee island?
It was in the Fane River, the drill road mill,
Mill. That's right, yes,
you
yes.
see.
The rats was coming out of the...
There was a,
Oh, thanks.
but if they got the name of the island of Crying Rats,
So you call them the crying in the skein ones.
I was sorry one day in the ski or playing lady up in a field in the corner of the Wally Smedley. Part of the field, there wasn't a foot for standing outside the line. And there with a stick, all in the ski supporters was there at that particular place. And I was thinking, who was playing within the scheme that day? I got the surprise of my life. Only Duffy. He was another John Duffy's. He used to kick ball over the road. And back, he was playing full back. I was wondering how he was going to keep out. Then the screen man, I said, you don't know the job you're taking on. I said to myself. But there was a ball, it was out over the line. Happy Daly of Blaney, he was an old footballer. I played with him on the county. And there was one year there was no team in Blaney, I don't know why, and we had 5 in the Blaney team playing with us. He was one of them. But Packy Daly, he went back too far in among supporters to throw the ball in. But he should have went out on the field as far as he could and throw it in. And when he threw it in, the man hit him on the head with the stick. No lady man seen it. Not one. I was the only one that seen him that was outside the skate team. The finisher would be again.
No.
No.
Great rivalry between Donaghmoyne and Enniskeane.
Yeah?
There was great rivalry between the two
Well,
teams.
that's what I maintain how it started.
Started.
It was the time that the parish was back
Yes.
in the scheme.
Enniskeane.
Yeah.
And the name of Tom Martin, he was from down the Loughlin Gentleman. And you had to have a nickname on the Martins because there were all so many of them in the parish. And Tom Martin, he was called from his father, Tom Dan. That was how you mentioned it. That's how he was known. He was living up at Creeka, and there was a man up there from Donaghmoyne had a public house there. The Quillins was after. Tom Dunn, he became more of a Killarney man than a Donaghmoyne man. And the objection we had with Killarney left it worse.
Yes.
That's the way it happened within the Skeen and Donaghmoyne. It was through the parish being divided. They hate the sight of some of the Donaghmoyne men.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
They hate the sight of them.
Mm. But would Donaghmoyne equally hate Enniskeane? I never felt that was so.
And I used to always have a very rough game with Enniskeane.
Who in Enniskeane would you be playing on, roughly? Who would be the...
Then,
Who was the big Enniskeane players at the time?
when you had Packy Boylan
Yes.
and you had Finnegans, Finnegans was the worst. When I was playing football, I never knew that anybody seen me. I got into that habit.
Yeah.
And I never could hear anyone cheer me.
Yes, you just...
My mind was on football. When I began to hear people, I thought it was time to quit. So I heard someone shouting, "Oh, playing," I think, "Oh, playing Enniskeane and Blaney." I was coming in and, "Go ahead, Traynor, you'll be on the county again. I can hear this fight." They were playing Enniskeane over in the Catton. Finnegan, he was standing beside the goals. I was playing centre forward. He was shouting, "Traynor, give down your boots! Give down your boots!" Now, what was in that man's head that he was shouting like that? Your mouth's too big. As I come in here and I'll deal with you. As if you're any good. So here's the place. Come in and talk. And I'll tell you how many beds makes five. So, quite a
Did you get many medals and that sort of thing for your football, Johnny?
A box of medals, take them down. What's the championship medal?
And this?
The red hand of Ulster.
This was... What's that for?
That's what you get for winning the Ulster Championship.
Ulster Champion medal there. What's that one from?
We won the World Cup. A man, the name of Owen Ward in London, and he presented the cup. There's the cup there.
Yes, I see it there. Big cup.
Yeah.
And the county board, they weren't very efficient some way or another. They never said that it was a perpetual cup or what. It was a general opinion. Championship.
Yeah, that's the championship, I'd say. 1950. One here.
Medal there. It was a football competition at Ballymackney. Killarney, and Carrickmacross, and Blaney, and Donaghmoyne competed for a set of medals. It is there somewhere. But Father Terry Kirk, did you know Father Terry Kirk?
No.
Didn't know.
No.
He was a great footballer. The first game, Father Terry Kirk, he was a Donaghmoyne man. He played with Blaney the first game. Beat Blaney. Oh. He played then with us against Killarney, Father Kirk. And we drew with Killarney.
Oh, no thanks, Mary. Thanks a million. Yes. Yeah.
We drew with Killarney. We played 10 minutes aside then. The Father Kirk was playing, that was 2 hours and 10 and 20 minutes Father Kirk played. Played Carrickton in the final. And it finished off again in a draw. And that was 3 hours and 20 minutes that Father Kirk played that day.
The next day.
So the final was played then the following year over at Monolly. There was some kind of sports meet there that day, that time. So there was no team in Blaney that year. Whatever happened, we don't know. We had 5 in the Blaney team playing that day, and I nearly say only we had the Blaney team, we had a wonderful team now.
Blaney have always had a good team.
Huh?
Blaney always had a good team.
Oh, it was the whole Gaelic football.
Yes,
Still
If
is.
you're able to beat Blaney, you beat the best team in Ulster.
You
They
did.
were always
Yeah.
great. If we take a man out the sideline, it'll
As
be
good
as
as
good as
the man that's there.
any of them.
Yes.
But they had Horton below in the Cowans one day. You're right, I shouldn't have been playing that day. It happened to me another day against the cold that I get. It's not a cough, it goes into the body. I didn't play against that day in the skiing, though they weren't just the same. But I was a fool to play. I was a fool to go down to the game, because what I knew that it was going to be tough, and the lady forwards, I don't deny it, but if I touched anybody, I found my shoulder go wet. Oh, for a month. I thought that he was a powerful man, and he was able to knock me out.
That day. Where was your favourite spot on the field? Where did you,
Yeah?
which position did you like to play on? Which position?
Well, a very safe position. The first game that I played on the county, it was against Mead of up in Davin. I was playing a right forward. It was out about 10 yards from the line.
Yeah.
The ball was above in the Monaghan goals. And this Monaghan, this back from me, came out deliberately to give me a knee in the small of the back. He was just a bit taller than he thought he was. And he didn't get at me right. But I was only an innocent young lad. What I should have done was to turn rather and give him the best box in between the two eyes and knock him out. He was sort of hospital case. I couldn't mind being farther down as long as I had well back. But the forward, playing in defence, you were always coming out. And you're always safe.
Yeah. Go back in meeting them.
If you're a forward, or you're a back, and what you forwards to get a bad handling too. I don't know why. We were playing in the skiing one day at Carry, and I was after catching the ball. And I was supposed to have the longest kick of a ball.
Yes, you were.
I was pitching, I could drive at 70 2 yards. That was a long distance. But I caught the ball and I kicked it, and it was below and nearly at the inner ski goals. And this man ran at terrible speed, and he must be going to jump into me or something. What was I to do? Was I to stand back and let him hit me, or out and beat him? So I said, I'll out and beat you. So I went out and you could hear him roaring at any carry. When I was finished with him. And if he had to be a big man, I wouldn't mind. But what he wanted to do.
What he was going to do.